Hi guys, my name's Seb Tudor, I'm the man on the Silver Mountain, and welcome back to this month's Trump in Review, whereby we've only got one thing to talk about this month that I really want to touch on substantially, and that is Trump's fucking tweets again. Like he can't help himself, and it's concerning in this particular instance because of what was tweeted out. And how hypocritical it is, and then the fact that the causes could be really fucking disturbing. But we've got Donald Trump retweeting Britain First, and for those of you who don't know, Britain First are kind of the kind of descendants of the groups from the 1930s that were basically in league with the Nazi Party in Germany until the war broke out, in which case their British national pride kind of and the need for survival kind of overrode their their quite frankly fascist beliefs. And so you've got Britain First, who is kind of the descendants of them, where they are individuals who are ideologically focused on kind of far right traditional extremism, and they aren't in any way nice people, considering that the person that what's her name, Jada Franson or something like that. Her. Considering she's been, Jada Franson. She's been taken to court recently around harassment and around a whole load of other things as well, to one degree or another, from what I can find, and yet Trump is retweeting her videos about that have been proven in several instances to be fake news, and it seems to be purely based around the color of the skin of the people in the videos and how they can say, oh, it's this, oh, it's that, and it's either the videos can't be verified or they are demonstrably false, and yet then that's the president that calls everything fake news and all that kind of thing then throws this stuff out, and it's ridiculous, because again, even after it was shown that he was essentially spreading fake news from these extremists himself, he then decided to go, oh, you need to boycott CNN because they're fake news as well. And it's like, no, you dumb fuck. They're not fake news. They're not. They're maybe at times have some dubious journalistic practices, but when you have just been caught being wrong, that's not fake news. That's you being an arse. And so it's troubling, because this is an endorsement by one of the most powerful people on earth for a group that are who's the woman who he actually tweeted from is on 4 charges of religiously aggravated harassment in Kent anyway, as well as various other investigations and things into the distribution of various online video and distribution of leaflets and the engagement of Britain First in other matters. It's horrific, because now they're feeling emboldened. They've, you had this woman that he retweeted from going straight out and going, yeah, God bless Trump, God bless America, and it's these people being emboldened. They've been validated, and I'm not usually a person that would go, you just by saying you agree with someone doesn't necessarily mean you're approving. But in this instance, he hasn't said that he's agreeing or approving. He's thrown out their fake material or their unverified material, either through complete ignorance, which shouldn't be the case for the President of the United States, one of the most powerful people on earth, or if he agrees with it, then why the hell is he in the position he's in? if you've had people impeached for things like adultery and lying in the past, then straight up kind of throwing out ideologies that America has been so focally against on the macro scale for so long, why the hell is he allowed to stay there? But it's bizarre. I mean, we've had people within this country. We've had MPs from both parties. We've had the Prime Minister coming out and saying that it was a wrong thing for the president to have done. We've had them calling it disgraceful and abhorrent and dangerous, a threat to our society, which maybe seems a little strong, in a way. But again, we'll have to see how much this emboldens these groups, both in terms of Britain First and other groups like them. It's a kind of horrible situation, because they seem to suggest that these individuals seem to suggest that we're being invaded, that we need to purify the country. We've talked about all of these things before. It's always the same story with these kind of groups, and we've seen this right-wing extremism in both the United States and the UK. Where we had MP Joe Cox getting shot by a right-wing extremist. We've had individuals in the States, even a couple of years ago, where we had the unrecognised militia going in and taking a federal building because reasons. And it's like, we're not doing well with this, are we, guys? Especially when the leader of the free world is, or so-called leader of the free world, is espousing these ideas, either purely because he's an ignorant fuck that has no idea what he's retweeting, and he just sees it and he goes, oh, that's so bad, people must know, press button, or because he just actually agrees with it. It's bizarre and ridiculous. But again, like, the thing that would interest me is he actually following this person? Because if so, where the hell is he getting his information from? If it's from this individual and individuals like this, then he shouldn't be in any kind of position of being in charge, when he's got a wealth of all of the US's kind of surveillance and security and other various areas of information gathering at his disposal, and yet instead he turns to things like Fox News and this. Alex Jones with his conspiracy theories and things. Good God. I mean, you've even had people from the research fellow from a think tank, the Institute of Strategic Dialogue, Julia Ebner, saying that if he was previously merely flirting with the extreme right, then he is now explicitly sharing a bed with them. I'm not sure what would be worse, if he purposefully retweeted it, or if he was simply unaware what it was that he was sharing. In any case, this further raises question marks about both his ideological leanings and his sources of information, which again, yes, completely the case. Even Paul Joseph Watson, who I keep an eye on just to keep a balanced argument on various issues, but who I usually find myself at odds with a lot of things that he says, just due to the amount of smug that he throws in. But even he came in going, yeah, retweeting these people was not a good idea. It's a bizarre situation that we find ourselves in when he does this. But then it escalated further, because of course you had kind of Theresa May and a lot of other people going, no, this is a bad idea, this is not something that you should be doing. This is poorly thought out, Mr. Trump. And yet then he attacks back, basically going, yeah, why aren't you concerned about the threat instead of just what I'm tweeting? We should be concerned about what you're tweeting, as much as I've got nothing else really nice to say about Theresa May at the moment, considering what she's doing to my country. This was a bad fucking idea, and it was wrong of you to do so, considering that these people, if they were the equivalent in your country, would attack so many people. And you're supposed to be responsible for the well-being of all of those people. this is the thing that lots of people don't seem to understand about leadership and about going into these things. Leadership is about sacrifice. It's about doing what's best for the people that put their trust in you, and that's why you get benefits. I've talked about this before. Simon Sinek does a great talk about it that I'm sure you can find online, on YouTube even. And so, it's very much about putting yourself forward, leading from the front, being the person to protect and serve and look after those people, and then because you are doing that on their behalf, they make sure you are all right. It is that trust and that care and that well-being that goes both ways. And yet, good God, this guy and fucking Kanye West and anyone else who wants to go into leadership, go into this kind of political leadership, purely because they think it would be good for their career, because it would get them a leg up, because they would be even more powerful. No, you're doing it wrong. And so it's not a case of, oh, you should be worried about this extremism and how terrible it is. You should worry about those things and not worry about what I'm saying. No, you need to worry about what you're saying, because what you're saying goes out to everybody. What you're saying is a point of public record, which is why even Twitter, even though some of those things are just directly against their terms of service, are literally going, we're leaving this here because, to quote them, because we believe there is a legitimate public interest in their availability. So again, like, there are exceptions being made to demonstrate what you are saying, how you are saying them, what you are espousing. That's a concern. And if you can't see that, Mr. Trump, then you're even stupider than you fucking seem to be, because quite frankly, this is bizarre and ridiculous. You shouldn't be trying to tell people, oh no, don't listen to what I say, focus on these other people. Well, yeah, we're trying to focus on those people, but it doesn't help when you are literally continuing to develop more of an us versus them, polarizing more people in different areas. Yeah? Think about it this way. Now you've got an emboldened Britain First, emboldened people within your own country who are seeing your espousal of this and going, oh, well, that sounds like exactly what we've been saying all along. Trump's our guy. But then you've also got the people on the other side going, well, Trump and his regime and these people, they're all just piling up against us, and so it's only going to be a matter of time before they attack, and so we've got to strike first. You are literally creating a rift, and the only people that are going to get hurt are the people who are still sat in the middle, who are reasonable, intelligent individuals who aren't buying into this crap. And so when you've got this split, you're not going to get anywhere. If anything, I would say that this should be one of the last nails in Trump's coffin, because along with all of these other things that he has said and done and proved that he is a child, proves that he is too busy worrying about his own ego to actually care about what he's doing for his people. Where he's his little mob boss at his podium or on a stage, or where he's being a little bit of a bully and pushing people around to try and be out front, as he did with when he was at the G20 summit, and he pushed I think it was the Prime Minister of Montenegro or something out of the way. It's like when you're being that kind of, I've got to be here, I'm bigger than everyone else, and I'm just the biggest swinging dick in the room. Well, yeah, you're the biggest dick in the room, certainly, but it's not doing you any favours. It's not always a good thing. So it's troubling, and I'd like to think that, especially as a lot of people who are watching me at the moment are watching from the United States, according to my analytics, this is horrific, guys, and I really worry for your country. I worry for mine at the moment because of all the Brexit stuff and some of the other bits and pieces that are going on, but Trump can't affect law directly over here, whilst the longer that he stays in power over there, and the more that he either gets stuff wrong, does stuff out of ignorance, does stuff out of arrogance, sacrifices you guys purely for himself, that's a real worry to me, because I've got friends over in the States. I've got people that that are kind of pretty good friends in certain instances over there, and it's like I really worry that I've got family over there, even arguably, and it's a concern that these things are going to get worse and worse to the point that some of the family that's over there could actually really end up, well, possibly being driven out if this continues to progress and expand to the extent that it could. All it takes is for one of these groups to be particularly emboldened and find a way to justify themselves to the president, and they potentially, I'm not going to say they get free reign, but they get a lot softer treatment when they could be doing absolutely horrific things. And that's concerning to me. I mean, along with all of the other things that we've got coming out at the moment in regards to things like sexual harassment, in regards to other bits and pieces going on, in regards to the tax plans and things that aren't actually going to pan out the way that they say they're going to pan out, all the infighting on both sides over in the States. Like this is bizarre and horrific. Because at least if Trump went and Mike Pence became president, he's not a nice guy either. But at least he knows how to play the game. Yeah? Like, all you need to do is look at what happened a while back, where he went to see Hamilton, and the actors all stepped forward to address him directly. He actually dealt with that with a level of composure that was, I thought, completely acceptable, where he said that was their right to free speech, and that was what they wanted to say to me. They said it to me, I listened. Fair enough. Unlike Trump, who had a little rant about it like a baby. Then as much as there are people who are not very nice in this world, if they can work within the system that's established, then they are better than the people that just run into it and knock over everything. Does the system need review? Absolutely. Does the system need reform? Almost definitely. But destroying it entirely will just have everything else that relies on it crumbling as well. You can't replace a support beam without putting up other supports first. And unfortunately, Trump just being sat on top of that support beam at the moment is just causing a lot more erosion in a lot shorter period. So anyway, guys, I'm going off on tangents now because it worries me. It does. But otherwise, guys, I'd love to know what your thoughts are down in the comments. In regards to his tweeting. Do you think it was out of ignorance? Do you think it was out of genuine agreement? Do you think he's just stupid and didn't know where the information came from? Didn't even bother to look before he retweeted it? I'm not a big fan of Twitter anyway, because of how minimalist it is and because of how stuff can just get churned up on that feed that is ever updating. But Trump is obviously a big fan, and he doesn't see that as a problem. In fact, I think he sees it as a strength, and that's why he uses it so much to just rant and have his little tirades and things. So we'll have to see, but I'd love to know what your thoughts are, just because whenever I read the comments, one way or another, they do give me kind of ideas, things that I think, yeah, okay, well, I can address that at some point later. I do try to reply to all of them, but having the time to sit down and go through everything, I usually find myself doing it maybe once, twice a week, when I'm actually uploading new videos and things. So I'm sorry if it takes me a few days to get back to you, but that's what I try to do. But anyway, guys, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in the video tomorrow. Take care. Thank you very much for watching, guys. If you enjoyed this video or found it interesting or useful, then please drop us a like, share this video, and subscribe for more. And I'll see you in the video tomorrow. Take care.